Oh, I said I was going to fix this before we went live. Never did. Welcome to the Pinfall Podcast. I am your host, Liz. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Marcus.
Hello.
How are you today, Marcus?
I'm doing pretty damn good after this Dynamite.
This was a hell of a Dynamite. It was a weird one,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
It was a very, what's the word? It's not their normal type of Dynamite. But it was fantastic for, like, no reason. Like, I don't know who Tony Khan was trying to impress.
Ratings were down last week. Tony said, fuck it.
Yeah, I'm gonna put on, an incredible promo with MJF and Pinnacle, sign Keith Lee, and have Jay White come by. And on top of that, a death match, plus an amazing tag team match. And we're going to have this NXT release come in and have a fucking classic with Jade Cargill.
Yeah. Plus, sexy little ending to the death match.
Yeah. I mean, it's one we had to have seen coming.
Right, but I thought that it was spicy.
You know, it'd be very interesting. Like, very, very cool.
Way.
What if, because I assume Jay White's not going to be doing AEW stuff for long, and it doesn't seem like he's really got much to do. What if he wants to go for the AEW belt, but he knows how AEW works and how the rankings work, so he says, I'm going to take out the top guy, and then you'll have to give me a title shot. And then he turns on Adam Cole. They have a match. And then Jay White challenges Adam Page. I feel like you don't have the guy for very long, Jay White. Why not make the most of it by doing that?
There's a lot they could do with Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And having him team up with Adam seemed weird to begin with, so I wouldn't mind, like, that dissolving really fucking fast.
Miriam's on my side with this theory. And hi, Miriam. Welcome.
Yeah, I think that'd be really fucking cool.
There's also the Okada thing, which would require them bringing Okada.
Yeah.
Don't know if that'll happen anytime soon.
No, I don't think so.
But Dynamite.
I just want everyone to know that I'm, like, the most tired I've ever been. These last 3 days, I feel like I've stayed up until, like my body feels like I've been pulling all-nighters, but I haven't. I've been going to bed early, actually.
Could just blame it on the, just say you got another booster.
It's just lasting so long.
Alright, so Dynamite, we already talked through a bunch of it. It's pretty much the most notable points that I already mentioned, so I don't think we need to do a nutshell. You want to just talk about the news?
If I can get to the news, I will talk about the news.
I feel like there hasn't been much newsworthy stuff since Thursday.
Everybody has been talking about this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Alright. News. Oh, fuck, the sign.
Yeah.
Fuck. The worst part, too, is that, like, I get, like, not more awake, but I feel more, like, capable of staying awake for at least, like, an extended period of time the moment I get into bed. That's when my body's like, oh, well, we could do, like, a little something. And I'm like, okay, sure. All right. Let's start with WWE news. First thing that we'll talk about is that NXT UK star Candy Floss is no longer with the WWE, it would seem. Her contract expired. Candy Floss.
Why do I recognize that name, but I have no idea who that is?
Mostly, I believe, because there was, like, Oh, I guess she injured her back. I don't know. I thought there was like drama between her and WWE. If I wasn't mistaken.
I wish I. Well, she's with the. Oh, she performed past tense on NXT UK.
Oh, she announced that she was leaving in 2021 due to mental health reasons.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then in December she left.
Yeah. And her contract officially was not renewed.
Right.
So hopefully we'll see her back at some point soon. Also, another side effect of the medication I'm taking is my mouth is super dry. So right now I feel like it is a desert.
You have water?
I have. That's why I asked you to get me my seltzer because I've only got this much water left. So it's okay, folks. We persevere. Also, if I can get out of this article, struggling. There was a new WWE series potentially revealed, like a digital series or something, called WWE Sunday Stunner. Apparently, they filed an application for that, a patent application. So it would seem that is a new show that they're working on.
Okay. Also, I've got a little news, a little AEW news, quote unquote. An interview with Tony Khan. You want me to talk about that now? Okay.
Let's get through the WWE news. Because that's what most of it is anyways. WWE is recruiting currently for their Next in Line program, which ironically I didn't know. It was like, I didn't remember the name of it. So the acronym is NIL.
NIL?
Which, yeah, like as in like nothing.
Yeah.
Which I just think is funny and ironic. But they plan to recruit 4 superstars at an upcoming wrestling event called Bout at the Ballpark, which is something that's happening in Arlington, Texas, that features like a bunch of athletes. It's like a showcase that features, as it says here, top teams in both NCAA and international competition, and it's going to be on February 12th, so the Saturday.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah. Also, WWE did some weird shit apparently last night. You know more about this than I do. With their camera angles and trying to have a camera in ring.
Yeah,
which I guess is the thing they're trying.
I read online that they are now trying to have a cameraman inside the ring working around the talent to I guess make the camera shots more diverse. But the last thing we need on fucking WWE is closer camera shots. Get wider, show off those guys' size. Keith Lee looked like a monster today because we've only seen him close up in WWE. We need to see him wide angles.
Yeah. Fucking goofy as shit. I just don't get it.
Yeah, that's gonna
dangerous as fuck.
That is dangerous, especially since a camera is very dangerous and also delicate.
Also, I mean, you've got a bunch of like massively green wrestlers that are now wrestling around a camera as well.
Yep.
Just seems.
And there's cords with the camera too.
Anyways,
we're getting the cable wrangler in there too.
Maybe. Apparently, Nick Gage signed a massive deal with GCW. Apparently, the massive part of the deal is that he signed a deal with GCW, which they don't do.
Yeah.
Notoriously. Apparently, Lauderdale said, "This is if I could fucking talk, if I could do it." Let's try that again. Lauderdale said, "This is the first and likely the last contract GCW will ever offer. Nick has earned the right to finish his career on his terms with dignity and to focus on the future he deserves. I'm proud GCW can give him that for the hard work, sacrifice, and loyalty over 23 plus years. MDK all fucking day." So I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
I mean,
not
if he's going to have a contract anywhere, it would make sense that it's GCW.
And if GCW is going to give a massive contract to anyone, of course it's going to be Nick Gage, their biggest attraction.
If they're going to give a contract to anyone, it makes sense.
Yeah, that's what I just said.
No, you said massive. I just meant like in general.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty exciting. And then on the same news as contracts and segueing into AEW, so you can talk about AEW next. Joey Janela revealed he does not know when his contract expires. He said with AEW. He said he thinks it's April 30th. And then he was asked if he thinks that they'll be renewing his contract, and he said that he thinks so, and specifically said, "I think it will. If it doesn't, I look like a fucking idiot right now."
He also said he has no way of reaching out to them.
Yeah, he said that he doesn't know what the fuck is going on.
But I mean, and that kind of has to do with what I'm going to talk about, but I mean, Joey Janela will be awesome to keep on AEW, but also he's doing great things for GCW right now.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand if he's fine not having an AEW contract and just floating with GCW. But I don't know. I don't know what his deal was before this with AEW, but I'm looking forward to see what he does. It'll be cool to see if he stays in AEW.
I think he's having fun in AEW. I mean, I don't think that somebody would say, "I think they will renew my contract" if they were miserable. You know?
He is only like having dark matches, but when he does show up on Dynamite, it's a good time. Like, I think he had a feud with Moxley during his title reign that was incredible.
Yeah, I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
But to go into my little piece, Tony Khan had an interview with TV Insider where he said, regarding contract renewals and cuts, he said, "I kept a lot of people under contract even though I wasn't necessarily using them on television because I wanted them to still have paying work, which was hard to come by for wrestling during the pandemic where there weren't any wrestling shows." And it's very good to see that he's not letting people go just because they got no creative.
Yeah. He did say that he's not going to be able to renew a lot of contracts, though, I believe because he's brought so many people in.
Right.
Which will eventually be a problem, but
there's also a lot of independent shows. There's so many other promotions now up and running.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the very opposite of what WWE was doing, releasing people for quote unquote budget cuts. But
yeah.
Yeah. It's nice to see people getting paid.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And I mean, I think that has helped influence the growth of the indie wrestling world.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, seeing like AEW names show up in like GCW or AAA, it really helps those promotions grow and reach a wider audience. I mean, we wouldn't be watching GCW now if it wasn't for familiar names there like Moxley. Same with AAA, we wouldn't have watched that if it wasn't for Kenny. Impact, we wouldn't be watching that if it wasn't for Kenny.
Yeah, I guess that's fair. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mostly because I actually didn't remember why we started watching Impact.
It was during Kenny's title reign because he had a big match. He had a big match against someone. I think it was, or maybe it was just because his title reign, and we wanted to see what his title reign's all about.
No, you know what I think it was, honestly? I think you were just like, I think you were doing like rankings.
Was I?
Or results and stuff. I think you were doing that around that time, and you mentioned, oh, that's Impact Wrestling. Do you want to just watch that? Because, like, what the fuck were we doing on a Thursday night?
Right.
And we found it on our TV.
Yeah. Yeah. Wasn't like Ring of Honor, where it's like so hard to watch. For a lot of people,
Yeah.
Impact's hard to watch, but.
Right. I've never heard of Access TV, so.
Yeah. Well, that's all I've got for news.
You know what I've got for news?
What's that?
I'm going to do this 3 more times in the coming weeks.
What's that?
Got my new Zack Sabre Jr. shirt.
Look at that.
And just the coolest little fucking thing.
Yeah.
I love the shirt. I think this might be my favorite one that I got.
Is it?
I think so. Honestly, they're all pretty cool.
And I just want to mention real quick, before we dive into the episode, on our Twitter, pinned to our profile is the vote for what show we're going to be covering on the weekend on Saturday. It could either be Warrior Wrestling 19, New Japan Golden Series Day 10, Defy's 5th anniversary show, or other. Your choice. Leave a comment what you think. Right now it's dead even for what show we're watching. So please leave your votes. That's at Pinfall Podcast on Twitter. So leave a vote there. Again, it's the pinned comment on at Pinfall Podcast. The handle is right at the bottom of your screen. Or if you're listening on Spotify, at Pinfall Podcast. All right. You want to talk about today's episode?
Yeah.
Cool. So we started off Wardlow. This was the weirdest way to start an episode. So we start off and there is a carpet, like a long carpet of MJF's Burberry scarf. And out comes Wardlow holding cardboard cutouts of MJF. Of course. He sets them up in the ring and hands a note to Justin Roberts. And he gives a long-winded intro for FTR. They come out. Another long-winded intro for Sean Spears. He comes out, or FTR comes out with like glasses of champagne. Dax Harwood with 2. Sean Spears comes out with a whole bottle of champagne. And handed a folder to Justin Roberts. And that was an even more long-winded intro for MJF, which prompts him to come out of the center of the entranceway, which is normally only reserved for Cody, in a throne. And we know one of the guys carrying the throne, don't we? Or you do.
Right on. We do know him. He is a friend of mine. Pardon me. We try to talk. Aaron Rourke, he was the one, if you're facing the TV, he was the one on the right, carrying the person up front. And I fucking lost my shit because, oh my God.
Yeah, he's
not the time I expected to see him.
He's wrestled for on AEW Dark before.
Yes, and he is on Twitter at PerfectAaron1, and Aaron is spelled Aaron. Yeah.
Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron.
Yeah, I think he wrestles for Beyond, doesn't he?
I think he does mostly Beyond. I think so.
Okay. All right, so MJF gets in the ring, and he says, "Let me make something perfectly clear. You're looking at the best in the world. I just beat CM Punk twice in Chicago. I'm better than the best in the world. Last week was a bit bittersweet for me. As I was lying on top of CM Punk after I had just beaten him twice in Chicago, a lot of emotion came over me. I beat someone I grew up watching. I decided to lean over and whisper in his ear, "You suck." But if anybody deserves the other 2 words, thank you. It's because of him I was able to beat the best in the world twice. It's Shawn Spears. Wardlow, starts to take a couple steps forward thinking it's him, and then, boom, disappointed. MJF says, I got you. Shawn says, I got you a gift. It's your new shirt. He points to the screen as if it's gonna be a person walking out, but no, it's just the graphic for MJF's new shirt. Better than the best in the world. He said, MJF says, it's time I became your new AEW World Champion. Then CM Punk comes out. He says, I'm watching the monitor in the back. Your win in Chicago is about as suspect as your spray tan. I've learned from my mistake a couple weeks ago. Today, I've got some friends. And everyone's like, because everyone this whole show was like, who's the signings? Who's the signings? Who are the people we're seeing? They took every opportunity to tease us. But it's Darby Allin and Sting. Punk says, this is going to go one of 2 ways. I'm going to get what I want or I'll beat it out of you. I want a rematch. I'm not talking to Max. I'm talking to the guy who beat me in Chicago, Wardlow. A whole lot of you wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for the big man. You can be on the receiving end of this beating, or you can leave these jerks. MJF says, I beat you all by myself, and Wardlow hangs around us not because he's under contract, but because he's our best friend. And then Dax Harwood gets on the mic. And he says, do you think I enjoy dressing like this? Do you think I enjoy dressing like this? I'm more comfortable in my fight attire. You've got the best tag team in the world in this ring, and I'm begging for a rematch. Against a trios match against Punk, Darby, and Sting.
Also, Daxy was like, I don't look good in this. And I was like, oh.
He said, I don't look good in
sweetheart.
Suits.
Yeah, he said he didn't look good. And I was like, hang on. I'll be the judge of that.
Also, walking into the ring initially, he slapped Cash Wheeler's ass.
Oh, no, I thought Cash slapped his ass.
Yeah, either way, yeah.
Either way, an ass got slapped.
Yeah, one person slapped another man's ass.
They walked arm in arm down to the ring, too.
It was great.
While Cash, waved like he was the fucking Queen of England. And I was like, oh, God.
Adjusted his hair. Flicked his hair around. Oh.
Cash Wheeler is, the perfect man.
They're both perfect.
They're 2 halves of the same perfect whole.
Mm-hmm. So MJF then says, wait just a damn minute. No way I'm wrestling in this cesspool of Atlantic City. Good point. Plus, this gives me an idea. You want a rematch? We're in Atlantic City. How about we roll the dice? Hey, punker. If you're in, you can beat FTR with any partner of your choosing, but it can't be Tweedledum or Tweedledipshit. Good luck finding a partner in the locker room that doesn't hate your guts. Now we gotta keep going because I'm the best in the world and you know it. And then we get Andrade backstage with Darby Allin and Sting. He says, finally, I find your boss. Nice to meet you. He takes a long pause because he doesn't want to say stink. Because it's been memed so much online. So he says, sir. Everybody knows this kid works for you. And then Sting looks at Darby and he's like, I thought you made that clear. Darby's like, I thought I did too. Sting says he's not a kid. If you have a dispute, speak to him. Darby says, quit wasting your time. I have bigger things than to talk to you, like being the next TNT champion. Andrade says, you will work for me. We have something in common. You want the TNT title. I am the next TNT champion. And then Andrade leaves and Sting looks at Darby and says, one thing's for sure. he means it. And then we get the Blade versus Wardlow.
Yeah, and this was a fucking decent enough match, but it went exactly the way you would expect it to.
There were no doubts.
Wardlow got stomped for a little bit. Blade ended up getting an elbow to the face. There was a big lariat to the Blade, and then a suplex, and then another. And then during the picture-in-picture, Wardlow got mad at Shawn Spears for kind of getting involved and like yelled at him. And then we get a powerbomb to the Blade. He wants to do some more. He does a couple more. He pins, and then as he's celebrating with his music, Shawn Spears comes in and ruins the moment by hitting the Blade with a chair.
Yeah. And then we get a weird video package for Penta.
Yeah, what's up with that?
As Alex Abrahantes doing voiceover for it. It sounds very menacing. And Penta digs out a mask, and we're going to see some new side to Penta after getting misted in the eyes by Malachi. Very much looking forward to what happens. So then we get in a meeting with the Inner Circle. And this was better than I expected, honestly. Mostly because of Santana and Ortiz. So Jericho, Sammy, and Hager come out. And Jericho says, I know I said the whole Inner Circle was going to be out here, but we haven't seen Santana and Ortiz all day. Santana and Ortiz then come out. And Jericho's like, okay, I see what you did there. You want your own spotlight. That's cute. But something was not cute 2 weeks ago when you didn't tag me in. You embarrassed me. You robbed our fans of seeing me wrestle. It was disrespectful. And then Santana says, listen, enough of this Pawnee shit. I've been struggling with seeing the cup half full. Sometimes you've got to see what things are. Chris Jericho only cares about one person, Chris Jericho. Any little fight we've had has always been for the advancement of one person, you. Anytime we've had our spotlight or we're making our way to the top prize, it gets shut down and thrown to the side so we can come to your rescue. It's funny we're out here because we came out here face to face to tell you that the days of us playing second fiddle are done with, over. At the end of the day, it was always you standing in our way. It was always you that made sure you had a bigger spotlight. You better look at this man and thank him, points to Ortiz. Thank him for all you got. If it wasn't for him, I would have dropped your ass a long time ago. And then Jericho says the stupidest fucking thing. He says, you remind me a lot of Eddie Guerrero.
Oh.
You could have said anyone. 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 Who's played a fucking heel. But you pick Eddie Guerrero. God damn it. It's like, there was no reason to make this worse. Could have said like fucking Kurt Angle or something.
Just a goddamn near anyone. He just didn't.
Yeah. It's because they're both the same race. That's why he called him Eddie Guerrero. Speculation. Allegedly. So then Jericho says, Eddie Kingston. It says you remind me a lot of Eddie Guerrero. You want to blame everyone, which isn't even a good comparison. It's not even like he didn't elaborate more.
You mean they're both Latino? That's the similarity.
Yeah. I just find it so funny because there was no reason. You could have just left that line out. You could have just said you want to blame everyone.
Yeah. You could have said like, you remind me of a child.
Another comment comes up later that's not from Jericho. JR actually says something when Keith Lee debuts. He says he looks like a young Mark Henry. Yeah, saw a lot of people pointing that out on Twitter.
JR says a lot of shit, and I don't hear it half the time, and I'm kind of glad I didn't hear that one, because I don't think I've let it go. But anyway.
Also, I don't see any similarities between Santana and Eddie Guerrero. At all. At all.
No. No.
But anyway. He says,
I don't even, realistically, I don't even think that they were... I don't even think they were born on, the same halves of the fucking country. Santana's from New York, Eddie's from Texas. There's that divide there.
Is Eddie Guerrero from Texas? Oh, yeah.
He was born in El Paso, Texas.
Okay. Huh. Anyway. Miriam said Jericho says stuff like that to get the name drop pop and to show that he knew him and was friends with him. Literally could have said anyone. Could have said fucking Lance Storm.
That's exactly what he was doing, because he was, and it wasn't just that he said you remind me of Eddie Guerrero. He said you remind me of my friend Eddie Guerrero.
You know who he should have said to get the most heat, but not the bad heat that he has now. He should have said Tommy Dreamer. You're not like Tommy Dreamer. You want to blame everyone. Now that the crowd would have booed the shit out of.
You got a point. I don't like the point, but you got a point.
Plus, AEW doesn't give a shit about Tommy Dreamer.
Clearly, because Tony Khan had to say, no, I did not sign him.
Yeah. So then Jericho says, Eddie Kingston, what the hell has he done for you in AEW? What kind of stroke does he have? 0. I hate that he's saying this. I'm the influencer.
He trademarked it.
It's so stupid.
So we have to listen to that several more times at the very least.
What is he influencing in AEW?
My decision to not watch the segment season.
In kayfabe, what's he influencing? Tennille Dashwood like a word with him. Imagine Tennille Dashwood versus Jericho.
They have the same hair color now, so
yeah,
we won't be able to tell who's who.
Don't insult Tennille Dashwood like that.
I'm so sorry, Tennille. That was really mean of me.
So since I brought you here, you've been in the main event. Your payouts have gone through the roof, and still you want to bring your shortcomings on me. You have a chance to be the champs. You've had a chance to be the champs. February 17th, a year ago, you had your chance, but you lost. That had nothing to do with me. I brought you into the inner circle. How about I kick you out? As a matter of fact, when I think about how I put this group together, maybe I invited the wrong 2 members of LAX. The other 2 members being Homicide and Hernandez. Anyway, it's we needed our token people.
Yeah.
We would just replace him with another 2.
Yeah, that was after everything else, that was probably the wrong thing for him to say.
Yeah. What else do you expect from somebody who went to the January 4th?
6th.
6th? Oh. 6th. God, it's
Please, Mark, nothing happened on the 4th. That was the planning day.
Just a blur in my mind now. Then Santana lunges at Jericho. And then Sammy chimes in. He says, stop, we're a family. And then Jericho snaps at him. He says, shut up, Sammy. And then Sammy probably does what might be best for him. He says, I don't know what the hell's going on. Inner Circle forever. That's what you always said. One of my goals is to be the greatest champion in wrestling, and all this bickering is not going to help. I've quit this group before, and unless you get your shit together, I quit again. And maybe leaving the Inner Circle will be best for him, because I don't think Inner Circle's done anything for his career in AEW. I don't know.
Here's the problem I'm having.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you finish the promo and then I'll tell you my problem.
Okay.
Actually.
So then Santana says, "What do you expect, Chris?" Oh wait, no. Ortiz says this. "What do you expect, Chris? Throwing around threats? What's next? You couldn't have had your facts more twisted. You couldn't be more wrong. Like the Inner Circle, Eddie is one of our brothers in arms. All this bickering isn't going to settle anything. Where we come from, if we have an issue, we deal with it using this fist." Next week, Santana and Ortiz versus Jericho and Hager. Jericho says, "I never wanted to come down to this, but if you want to fight, you'll get one. We'll see you next week. Attendance is mandatory."
That's gotta stop.
It's gotta.
That's gotta
So
stop.
stupid. He's gonna say that with every match now. "Daniel Garcia, I challenge you to a match. Attendance is mandatory."
Is that gonna be like his new thing?
Give me a teacher.
He's the substitute teacher.
Oh no.
I hate to say this.
Okay.
Really, I do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Inner Circle is breaking up.
Oh, it 100% is. It is. Sammy's gone.
I don't think so.
Santana and Ortiz don't even have their vests anymore.
I think that this is going to be Inner Circle stronger than ever because we've overcome this problem.
I doubt it. I think Jericho and Hager are staying together. Because Hager needs someone to talk for him. But I don't think
Jericho did show shades of turning heel.
Yeah. And I think Santana, or rather PNP, are staying face.
Yeah.
And Sammy's obviously staying face.
I'm holding out hope that I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't trust anybody. Also, Santana saying that Ortiz was the only thing that kept him around as long as like he stuck around. That line just fucking slapped me a little bit. I was like,
oh. Yeah. It's like it's the contrast with like these promos was so stark. Like you had Santana on one side, who's like fucking like with promo delivery is like fucking Joaquin Phoenix. Or on the other side you have Chris Jericho, who's like fucking Johnny Knoxville. Like, could not be more opposite. I mean, Chris Jericho used to be really good. He used to be an amazing promo. I don't know what's going on now. I don't know what this shit was today.
no, yeah.
I
don't know. Jericho's just kind of gotten like weird.
Yeah. Miriam said like these couple posts that are something wild, like we cheated and we lied, we hurt each other, but we talked it out and we're staying together. But they break up again 2 weeks later and then rinse and repeat. Yeah.
That's what I'm worried about.
I don't think it will be that. I don't think so. Because PNP,
Fingers crossed.
I hope PNP joins up with Eddie Kingston. They become their own faction. Start LAX again.
Different LAX, but
yeah. LAX with Eddie.
They can call it NYC or JFK for that matter. Get it?
Is that what LAX stood for? Well, I know LAX is like an airport.
Is an airport.
But I don't think that's what LAX, the faction, stood for.
But it's my joke.
Well, that was a joke. Okay, so LAX stands for Latin American Exchange.
My joke is still good, but like fine.
I like how you are the one that says your joke was fine.
I stand up for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, you sure do. Alright, so then we get Roppongi Vice in interview. Rocky says, "I'm 100% and feeling good." The Young Bucks walk in, and Matt says, "I thought we'd come in and say hello." Adam Cole runs in and kicks Rocky from behind. They give a BTE trigger to Rocky. They're about to do one to Trent. But somebody walks in wearing switchblade jacket. It's Jay White out of nowhere. And he lays out Trent, throwing him into the truck. And he has a little stare down with Adam Cole. Oh, I hope my theory is right, because that would be so cool. Jericho, or, oh, I'm sorry, Jay. Jay White turning on Adam Cole, beating him in a match, and then challenging Hangman. The thing is, you need to be careful with that. Because you have Jay beat Cole, that affects Cole's like appearance in AEW. Like, he suddenly looks a lot worse. He drops down in the ratings, and he's no longer number one contender. You either have Jay White versus Hangman, or you have Cole versus Hangman. I don't think you can do it both.
Nah, the Adam Hangman saga has to be like deep.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but can I say something? First of all, saw Jay White. You know, whatever. I guess that's gonna happen now. I'm just kidding. I love Jay White. I'm insane. Straight up, and I don't know why my brain thought this, because the way like that he walked in and we didn't see his face for like a hot minute. I was like, oh, that's not actually Jay. But also at the same time, I was staring at him, staring at the back of his jacket.
I was telling you it's Jay White.
This was before then. This was the point in time where you were going, oh my God. And I was like, I was looking at the jacket, but I wasn't looking at the jacket, I guess. And I was like, did Alex Reynolds turn on the Dark Order? Is that what this is?
I love how attacking Roppongi Vice is turning on Dark Order.
Well, it just felt like he turned heel. I don't know.
But it'll be great.
I don't know why. That was my first thought.
This will be great, though, because we can actually be awake when Jay White has a match.
Talking shit?
I'm just stating a fact. Wrestles in Japan.
He doesn't wrestle in Japan anymore. He's not allowed to go to Japan.
Well, used to. And he didn't have... okay, he had a match. He had like one match at Impact.
So far.
Yeah.
This year.
Yeah. Alright, so after that, we get Isaiah Cassidy in the Face of the Revolution qualifying match against his mystery opponent. And that mystery opponent is Keith Lee. And the crowd fucking goes wild for Keith. They chant, "Bask in his glory." He is soaking it in. He's loving it. Oh God, he looks like $1 million.
He does. And they freed the nip.
He did free the nip. And I just want to say, I made this graphic, this layout, which I'm changing it up. Instead of it being the champions, it's the match card. So it's like Hangman and Lance, and then I did Isaiah. And I was like, oh, who the fuck his opponent's going to be? Well, everyone's talking about Keith Lee, so I'll put Keith Lee on the other side. It worked. Manifested it.
Nice. So Isaiah's mad. Isaiah's like pissed. He's like, I'm not fucking wrestling this guy. Gets exactly what he expected, because first thing Keith does is just take Isaiah and fucking yoink him across the fucking ring. We then get a crossbody to Cassidy. Cassidy actually gets like a drop kick in. He attempts a clothesline, but Keith runs right through it. Then Keith, I believe, like at that point, tackled Cassidy in some respect, or I think he shoulder tackled him. And Matt Hardy just fucking leaves. Matt Hardy says, I'm done here. I have no interest in hanging around, and he fucks off through the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Marquand sticks around because he's a good friend. He grabs the boot of Keith Lee as Keith Lee goes to get back in the ring after being sent to ringside, but gets kicked away. Cassidy gets a piss poor cutter, but hits the flying crossbody to a ringside Keith Lee. However, eventually we get a fireman's carry takeover to Cassidy for Lee to win. And then Private Party semi-successfully double team Keith Lee.
Yeah.
Semi-successfully.
That's how you book a show. You make one person not invincible.
Yeah.
Take notes, WWE.
I really thought that Isaiah was going to get squashed.
Yeah.
And I was really happy he didn't.
Yeah. Also, Tony Khan tweeted.
Oh, did he?
He said, "I didn't secure Jay White until Sunday. I realized after the fact that Friday night I butchered my own definition of Forbidden Door in hyping tonight. I heard the fans' feedback and wanted to ensure that tonight was a special AEW Dynamite for all. Thank you for everyone who watched." Damn, that's like amazing last minute get. My God.
So Keith Lee was the contract, though.
He was right. But
so I was still right in my vitriol towards people saying, "Oh, the contract signing is going to be Jay White." I was right. I was still right because it wasn't.
Oh yeah, I was a little confused by what you said. But a lot of people were also right in that Tony Khan didn't understand what Forbidden Door meant.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm glad he owned up to it, honestly, because I feel like owning up to shit on Twitter, especially, is not something you want to do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really glad that he did that.
Yeah, and he's already receiving replies to that tweet being like, "How about you push your own wrestlers?" It's like, who do you think these new people are wrestling?
Yeah.
Each other.
Also, I'm glad he owned up to it because now I feel a little less crazy. Because I definitely felt kind of crazy.
Maybe we'll get Evil in AEW to face Jay White. We get Evil and Adam Cole versus Jay and fucking Adam Page or something.
Before you get that, you're gonna get Adam Cole and Tama Tonga facing Jay White because Tama Tonga seems like he is this close to the end of his rope.
God, I mean, he's been like this a lot, where he desperately wants to go through the Forbidden Door, but
he literally has.
Yeah, he has an impact, but that's not the Forbidden Door that matters. Also, Kenta just tweeted. He said, "In fact, my recovery was so smooth that I was better off without crutches, so I decided to talk and say goodbye until yesterday morning. I want you to be happy with someone who needs a cane somewhere rather than being with me anywhere. Thank you for your support so far. I don't want to, but bye-bye."
What the fuck does that mean, Kenta?
I don't know. I really don't know.
What the fuck? Oh. I think it's him saying goodbye to his crutches.
Oh, maybe. I hope so. He's been obsessed with those crutches on Twitter.
He really has. I mean, his last picture was him hugging his crutch.
Yeah.
God, I adore him.
Me too. All right, so after that, we get a video package for Mercedes Martinez and Thunder Rosa, and it was announced that they would have a no DQ match next week. And then we get FTR versus CM Punk and his surprise tag partner, which is Jon Moxley. Now, this does make for a great match, but I think his partner should have been Shawn Dean, just to rub it in MJF's face.
Yeah. That would have been funny, but I'm glad it was Mox. Plus like a full ring of people that were like WWE wrestlers.
Yeah.
That were treated like shit by WWE.
Yeah.
Okay, so we start with Punk versus Daxy. There's a side headlock takeover, or side headlock takeovers to one another. We have like a little fun. We're vibing. We get Mox and Dax. Some more side headlock takeovers. Then a suplex and a few kicks to the chest of Dax. CM Punk gets in against Cash. Cash gets his leg all twisted up against the ropes and is like, I'm surfing while standing on it. I was like, I fucking hate you. Dax then gets sent headfirst into the camera in the corner. We get a back body drop to Cash from Moxley and a German suplex to Dax and another to Cash. Then a double DDT on Cash and Dax. There's a lot going on at this point. We then get Mox suplexing Cash. Mox wants to tag out because, but Dax distracts Punk. Cash then sidelines Punk. We get a leg drop assisted by Cash from Dax to Moxley, but that doesn't quite get the pin. He goes for it a second time, but Moxley avoids. Hits a lariat to Cash. Punk then gets in against Dax, I believe. We get a leg lariat to Dax and then a knee strike in the corner. Mox and Punk hit a doomsday device to Dax, but still there's no successful cover. Cash takes out Mox, sends a ring bell to the face of Punk, but Dax still covers. Punk kicks out. There's a GTS sorta to Dax, but they managed to get the big rig off onto CM Punk, but Moxley breaks up the cover. Moxley and Punk nearly get a GTS paradigm shift simultaneously, but FTR break that up. Then we get a rear choke to Dax and an anaconda vice to Cash. Tully gets in. He starts hitting CM Punk with his jacket. That doesn't do anything. Tully takes a GTS, and then eventually we get a GTS paradigm shift to Dax and Cash from Mox and Punk to win the match.
That
wild match.
The GTS on Tully was so gentle. So gentle.
It was, but it was still so I loved it.
Yeah. All right, so after that, we get Jade Cargill's open challenge against AQA, formerly known as Zeta Ramir in NXT. This match had no right being as good as it was.
Yeah, this was like, I mean, I forgot how good Zeta Ramir was. Mm-hmm. I also forgot about Zeta Ramir, which is my bad. I loved this match, honestly. She's going by AQA though, so we'll refer to her as such going forward. We get an arm sub on AQA and then an arm drag to Jade right into a bit of an armbar. Jade then lifts her, dumps her. I thought that was where it was going to end. It didn't. Jade ended up launching AQA, who hits back with a dropkick midair, like straight up throws her up in the air. AQA hits her with the dropkick before hitting the ground. Was a little clunky, but still was cool. Then Jade goes to ringside. She just beats the piss out of AQA. Oh god, I just fucking AQA actually it's like for a couple minutes, hit the shooting star press onto Jade, goes for a second, but can't quite get it. Eventually she hit the crossbody to Jade, but Jade catches her, sort of deep sixes her, and then or like maybe like a Boston Slam kind of deal. And then AQA gets jaded for Jade to win.
Yeah, really fun match, really fun. And it's good to know Jade can have long, intense matches instead of squashing a lot without any help from outside people. It's really cool. So then we go backstage for Cutler Cam. And Matt says Friday on Rampage it's Bucks versus Roppongi Vice. Nick says time to climb back to the top of the rankings. Go for the AEW tag titles. Adam Cole says, speaking of Friday, Jay White will be there to be your backup. And Matt's like, well, would it have killed you to send a text last time you bring in someone? In case you didn't realize, him and Kenny are enemies. Cole says, if you can trust me, you can trust Jay. When you're Bullet Club, you're Bullet Club for life. I have a statement of my own to make. And I think that's going to be the thing that makes Jay turn on Cole. You're not Bullet Club for life.
Yeah, that's fair, because that's Jay had problems with
Oh, you're breaking up a lot. Oh, you disconnected, I think. Uh-oh. We lost her. And she's gone. Liz? Oh. Think she lost Wi-Fi. Is she up? Back?
Am I back?
You are. You're freezing a little bit. Okay. I think we're good. You know, be a cool alternative to my theory. Because Cole brought up the point of Bullet Club and former Bullet Club members, what if Jay wants to clean house and take care of all those former Bullet Club members? Take care of Cole, the Bucks, Cody, Kenny, who's probably like taking physical therapy.
Maybe. That could be it.
That's what he's doing on Impact. Take care of all those guys. Everyone who thinks they might still be Bullet Club. Take out Paige. Kaz wasn't Bullet Club, was he? Because he was the Bullet... Oh no, he was the Elite Hunter. Was he Bullet Club?
I don't think so.
Okay. I think that might be pretty interesting. So then we get Serena Deeb in her 5-minute rookie challenge against Katie Arquette, who has wrestled on Dark before.
What a last name.
Yeah.
When you're a wrestler.
Is she related to David Arquette?
Imagine. Deeb just is like a shark playing with her food. She hits a spiral neck breaker and then like a merciless arm submission mixed with a half crab to win. Simple as.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, well, before the match, Serena said, the last time you people saw me, it took 3 minutes to beat Sky Blue. There isn't a woman back there on my level. There isn't anyone there that can go 5 minutes with me. This is the Professor's 5-minute rookie challenge. If you want to put your life on the line, I will gladly be the one to dig your grave. And then that match happened. And then finally, we have our main event. Hangman Adam Page versus Lance Archer for the AEW World Championship in a Texas death match.
Hope they got Hanger to the hospital for a blood transfusion.
It's bleeding
Jesus
so much.
Christ. He was bleeding so much.
Maybe,
oh my God.
Maybe this is like what he knows he needs this medically. Like gotta like drain some of the bad blood to get some pump some of the good blood. Maybe he's got too much blood.
Seems like instead of like bloodletting or like leeches, this is what we're gonna do.
This is doctor prescribed.
Fair enough. So we get a belt to the noggin of Archer, and then Archer goes through a bunch of light panels. Because we start this match by wrestling ringside. Or not ringside, backstage. Different place. So Archer goes through a bunch, or a panel of glass, actually. And this was the tunnel he was supposed to come out of. So I guess the idea is that he was supposed to burst through a panel of glass prior to entering his Texas death match. So that's normal.
Yeah.
Anyways, Lance gets bloody pretty quickly. We get a buckshot lariat to Lance, but no knockout. Lance beats Hangman over and over with the lid of a trash can. And around this time, Dan fucking Lambert comes out and loosens and... What is the word? What is the word I'm looking for? Detaches the top rope so that...
Unlocks. Unhooks.
unlocks, unhooks, undoes.
Yeah.
The top rope so that Hanger can't hit the buckshot lariat. Eventually, we go into the crowd. We get a standing moonsault onto Lance into the crowd, or in the crowd, off of like a barricade kind of deal. We then go to the picture-in-picture, and while we're in picture-in-picture, I guess I just didn't look. Hangman got bloody, like bloody.
Yeah, face
like,
covered in blood.
Just dripping down to the point where like they were between the ropes on one side, and you could just see this like splash zone, for lack of a better term, this like circular radius between like where their heads were, of just like in a massive blood. And I was like, oh, that's lovely. I love wrestling. Hangman goes for the Deadeye, but Archer avoids. Jake then clotheslines Hangman. Jake the Snake, who's also ringside, clotheslines Hangman. Lance yells at him. And I said, that's your fucking father. Don't fucking talk to him like that.
Jake fucking walks away. Adam Page starts yelling at him, and Jake the Snake flips him off. He's like, I don't like you too either.
Fucking fever dream of an AEW episode, I swear to God.
So good.
Then Lance choke slams Hangman through a trash can after Hangman tees off on Archer with a kendo stick. We get a fork to Hangman's face, and then a barbed wire chair makes its appearance. Lance hits Hangman with the blackout onto some turned over stairs. Archer then sets up for a powerbomb onto the barbed wire chair, but Hangman gets some of the barbed wire off the chair, punches his way down, wraps it around his arm, very Anna Jay. Lariats? Archer?
No, it was just forearms.
Just forearms, okay. We then get a German suplex to Archer, and then the fucking strangest spot I have ever seen, coolest spot I've ever seen. He leaps off of Paul Turner to hit the buckshot lariat, sending Lance Archer off the apron into some tables set up ringside. Fucking bananas.
Did you talk about that blackout on the stairs?
I did talk about the blackout on the stairs, where we both thought that Hangman might be deceased.
I thought he broke his hand or something because his hand smacked, and he was like checking on it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think he did because he seemed fine after that. But God, what a great match!
I know.
It wasn't very long either, but it was. Not every match needs to be so long, and this definitely didn't need it. This was great.
No.
And then Adam Cole comes out to end the episode, grabs the AEW title, and just puts it on Page. Because now he is the #1 contender, and you can tell he's been waiting for it. God.
Yeah, I think this is gonna be a fun throwback story. I'm so excited for it.
Oh yeah. We've got former Bullet Club versus former Bullet Club, and that might be the story they do, because Tama Tonga's now reacting to tweets about former Bullet Club. That line that was said by Adam.
See.
And it seems like that's what they're doing on Impact as well. Wonder how Cody mixes in. He's gonna hide. He's gonna hide in his free agency. Just go to like WWE for like a week.
Please stop. No.
All right. So that's our recap. Stay tuned, everyone, for our bests of the night and our question segment after that. If you have a question for a question segment, leave it in the chat right now, and we'll get to it after the bests of the night. And I actually need to pull up questions. But for now, let's talk about the bests of the night. So, promo of the night. This is no question. No question at all. And I'm sure you agree. It's the MJF cardboard cutout celebration.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing stuff. Amazing stuff. Was great having Jay White show up, but I think the best promo was definitely the Pinnacle. So wrestler of the night, I'm gonna give you 3 choices. Let's see. This is a tough one. This is a very tough one. So I'm gonna give you 4 choices actually. Keith Lee, Jon Moxley, AQA, and Adam Page.
Keith Lee.
Yeah, I agree. He looks great. He's having fun. He looks very happy.
He does. He seems like he's having a fun time.
And that's what matters, because wrestling's fun. Alright, and let's talk about match of the night. I think this one might be a little bit difficult. So let's see. So, as always with match of the night, we go from the worst match to the best match of the night. And we'll talk about which one is the match of the night. So, worst match. 3 out of 10, Serena Deeb versus Katie Arquette. Very short, squash, nothing special. Next up, with a 4 out of 10, Isaiah Cassidy versus Keith. You know what? I'm going to move that one up. That should be, I'm going to give that a 5 out of 10. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty decent match. Really good to see Keith. And Isaiah was like doing a great job of selling how menacing Keith is. Next up, another 5 out of 10, The Blade versus Wardlow. It was pretty good, pretty decent. Then 6 out of 10, Jade Cargill versus AQA. Really, really great stuff. Very fun match that had no right being as fun. And I honestly forgot, I didn't realize that was Zeta Ramir, formerly known as Zeta Ramir, because I didn't realize she was released. I thought she was still with WWE for some reason.
Yeah, I had forgotten that she was released, honestly.
All right. Next up, with an 8 out of 10, Adam Page versus Lance Archer, Texas Death Match. So good. So damn good. This was so much fun to watch. It was like just the right length. Everything about this was great. And finally, I have a feeling you'll disagree. I don't know. My pick for match of the night, FTR versus CM Punk versus Jon Moxley. Amazing tag match. 8 out of 10. Loved it. Loved every second of it.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. The only thing I didn't like about it, I don't think Mox and Punk should have won.
I didn't think so either, but I understood why.
Like in the long run, yeah, they should win because this is showing up the Pinnacle. But FTR is like a tag team. Punk and Mox, they're not like a tag team. Punk doesn't do much tag stuff. Neither does Mox, really. Mox did a little bit. Here and there. But like solid, like brothers versus these two guys.
Yeah.
But besides that, I thought it was a fantastic match.
Yeah, I agree. I had a lot of fun with this.
Cool. So, to run it back, promo of the night, MJF cardboard cutout celebration. Wrestler of the night, Keith Lee. Match of the night, FTR versus Jon Moxley and CM Punk. So, you want to answer some questions?
I'll answer a question.
I want to answer. I want to save Miriam's question for last, actually, because that seems like a very fun question. On YouTube, in response to our last Dynamite episode, a question from Mylon, who asked, how do you guys think Hangman's reign has gone so far? I feel like both AEW and WWE struggle with babyface champions. They can book the chase, but once they get the title, it's like they drop off a cliff. How would you book a babyface champion? I think we're seeing it with Paige.
You think so? I really think that they've kind of dropped Paige a lot.
I don't think so, because I think the way you book a babyface is you put them through the fucking ringer. Like you really make them miserable. It's like writing a movie or a show. They tell you that when you're writing a story, you bully the shit out of your main character. Like you bring them to their lowest point. And with Paige against Danielson, all of his friends got laid out by Danielson. And that was the first thing. Then he gets laid out himself twice. Gets all bloody. Like every defense so far has gotten him very bloody. And now he's put through a Texas death match. Like, just put him through the ringer. That's all you have to do. Make him the...
And now we've got a returned friend.
Yeah. Make him the underdog in every single match. That's how you do it. It's like, with a great heel champion, you make them like the biggest force, like Roman Reigns. Make them unstoppable, and then the babyface comes in and dethrones them. I think they're doing a great job, honestly. The only thing I think they're missing out on is lots of promos. And, you know.
Okay.
I think it's the same with Hangman and Kenny when they initially had their challenge. They didn't have too many promos.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. I would like to see more of Hangman. I feel like he's kind of just floating out there in the ether. And then when like the time comes, he's on top of it and he looks good. But I think that they could be doing more with him instead of just pulling him off the shelf when they need him.
Right. I feel like he should be more of a representation of the company, like the face of the company.
More omnipresent, if you will.
Yeah. Kind of like in Bobby Lashley's first title reign, he was like everywhere. You saw him all over the place. And it wasn't quite to the extent of Roman Reigns, where like he is SmackDown. I think Bobby was like the best champion we had. One of the best champions we had last year. Did we put him as champion? No, we had Kenny, I think. Title reign of the year. I think I actually have the sheet up.
I think you're right.
Title reign of the year. Yeah, Kenny. But Bobby Lashley was very close because he was like the face of the company or the face of that show. But there was still a lot going on around him. It was a nice balance they struck. Yeah.
Yeah, I think your idea of booking a babyface actually sounds really good.
Question is, now that Adam Cole is up, how's he gonna be put through the ringer there?
Emotional torment. That's an old friend come to haunt you.
Yeah. Are they old friends? Like actually old friends?
Like
not like real life, like kayfabe.
Yeah, kayfabe. I was gonna say I don't know about real life. When you say actually. Yeah, no, they were, if I'm not mistaken, they were tech partners.
Oh, okay.
For a minute.
Huh. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Yeah, I hear it too. You're not going crazy. There's a cat outside that's meowing.
If I were having a hard enough week, swear to God. I was looking.
According to Miriam, Adam Page was Adam Cole's final match in Ring of Honor.
Oh, really? Wow.
Now, Adam Cole is going to be Adam Page's final match in AEW. Okay, she said they took on Red Dragon a lot together.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I thought that they had a bond, if you will. Seen a lot of videos of them together, so
that means we'll get some great promo chemistry between them. All right. So Miriam asked, if you guys were a champion, what would you rather have more title defenses with no weird stipulations, or would you rather have just a handful of defenses with the wildest matches and stipulations? The latter for me.
Hang on, reread that to me.
If you guys were champions, would you rather have more title defenses with no weird stipulations, or would you rather have a handful of defenses with the wildest matches and stipulations?
Oh, just a handful.
Yeah.
I want to do weird shit.
Do weird shit, make each match feel so grand. Like make every match mean something.
Everybody's like, nobody's gonna be like, oh, he hasn't wrestled in a while. They're gonna be like, maybe he needs to take a break from wrestling for a couple seconds.
It's like quality over work rate. There's a reason the mid-card belts are always like the work rate belts. The TNT title.
Yeah. I definitely would want to do crazy shit. I think that, like, the crazy matches are always so much more fun to watch. As long as they're done right. As long as it's like, it doesn't become like you're like weird. Like, I don't know. I think that you can overdo it, but I definitely think that like what's happening with Hangman lately is like cool.
Yeah. And if we're talking,
because I was just gonna say, I don't really notice that like he's gone for very long until the next match. I'm like, oh fuck, we haven't seen Hangman in like years.
Yeah. But if we're talking like in kayfabe, I would definitely want to do like just a handful with crazy stipulations, because obviously that means less chances to lose it. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry, weird noise. I definitely think it's just more interesting to people too.
Yeah.
God, I do the weirdest shit. If I were capable and not scared of dying.
Yeah. Let's wait till I get that UPF World Championship. Just you wait.
Somebody would have to allow you to have that match, so.
Yeah. All right, so, and by the way, check out the new Universal Pokemon Federation episode at upfworld.com.
I'm in it.
I am too.
I think.
You are? All right, so that's all the questions we have. Liz, would you like to close out the show?
Yeah, sure. Sorry.
Car screeching.
Yes. If you join us tonight, thank you so much. And if you join us in the future, thank you so much. We appreciate you. Happy Valentine's Day. That's Monday, I think. So let me know if you want me to be your Valentine.
What about me?
Let Mark know if you want him to be your Valentine. Please tune in tomorrow. We'll be talking about Impact. It'll be super fun, as it always is. And then we won't talk about anything else ever again.
What? Huh? I don't know about that.
I do.
Go to our Twitter, @Pinfall Podcast, to vote on what show you want us to cover for our weekend show. Again, we've got Warrior Wrestling 19, New Japan Golden Series Day 10, Defy 5th Anniversary, or other. Leave your suggestions if you have others. But that's all on our Twitter, @Pinfall Podcast. And Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, that's all also the Pinfall Podcast. I'm at the Mark Cameron. Liz is at Eli's at Elaine23. Once again, we'll be live tomorrow for Impact Wrestling, and Saturday with our weekend show. And then everyone enjoy the Super Bowl on Sunday. Have
Or don't.
or don't if you're not into football. You know, have a beer or some pizza, some nachos, and just have a good Sunday. So, thank you all so much for watching. Have a great night, and we'll see you all tomorrow.